All right, hello everyone. For you guys that don't know me, my name is Ange Power, and I am here tonight just to kind of talk through some things that help me when I'm talking product with people. For me, like health is something I've been passionate about for a long time. I've been in the health and wellness industry now for over 15 years. I've seen firsthand what chronic disease does. I've seen firsthand what state our global health is. And more recently, I've gone on and studied to be a holistic health coach because I'm a massive believer that lifestyle is such a huge component to basically everything and how we show up and things like that. I do have some notes in front of me, so I will be referring to them every now and then, so apologies if I'm looking down. So basically for me, my story, I came into this business, which will probably be a surprise to a lot of people because of my passion for health. But I actually came into this business because the business model made a hell of a lot of sense to me. You know, I was trying to get my health coaching business off the ground. I was also, looking at having to go back to work as a physio, and I had 3 young kids. They all have had to go into daycare, which cost a fortune. So when this was introduced to me, it was the business model that really made sense to me. And to be honest, my belief in the product was absolute custard. Like, it made sense to me, but because I come from this health background, I was like, no, like I can get all this from my food. Why do I need to take these supplements? And I was so anti-supplements. I was so anti-anything. I was like, no, I can get this from my food. But the more I looked into the products and the more I kind of understood it and the more research I did, and then also the way that I felt. So I was introduced to this on the background of having twins and at the time a 2-year-old. So I had 3 kids under 3. And I was eating so well, and I was as well as I could, like among all the kids, but I still could not recover from the depletion, and this is when I kind of looked into this product more, and it all started to make so much sense to me that actually you need like that dense nutrition when you're trying to recover from something especially, but you also, like, we really struggle to get the nutrition we need from our food these days because of the way that it's made and the way that it's delivered. And also, being like a really busy mum, I was actually struggling to get everything that I really needed to get into recover. So the more I kind of looked into the product, the more it really made sense to me. But I guess this is kind of leads me into my first point when you're sharing the product. And I know that some people kind of said to me, like, they struggle to share the product because they don't necessarily know about the product, enough about the product. But I would challenge that, because how much do we really need to know about the product? Like, there are so many resources that we can send people if we need to with regards to product and program. There's so many recordings. We can Google stuff, we can do all of this stuff, and there's so much information out there on the product and the program. So I would challenge you to really think, if you're struggling to share this with people, is it because of your product knowledge, or is it because of your belief or your ability to actually share? So this is where I'd like you guys to have a real big think about, like, where is your belief at? And I know that this is so crucial because I know how hard I had to work on my belief in the product, because of like what I've said to you already. I was a massive believer that I didn't need this and I could get all of this from my food. So I would really suggest straight away, like, rate your belief. And if you want to pop it in the comments, go for it, but rate your belief, like, and really understand where you're sharing from it. And what you want to rate your belief in is, like, what is your belief in the product? Like, one is like, you're like, nah, it's crap. It's, it doesn't do anything. It's, why would I even buy it? And then 10 out of 10 is that, like, you're like, this thing is gold. I'm going to be on this for the rest of my life. It is incredible. Why is everyone not on it? And I think as well with that, and then also you want to do the same with the program, and then also rating your belief in yourself, like your ability as a person to be able to kind of share that and that belief yourself. I think with regards to the product and the belief, this is something that might go up and down, but there's so many places that you can go to work on this belief. And I think understanding why you don't necessarily believe that in as well. Like, some people have incredible product stories. I mean, you've seen the testimonials of like the changes and stuff that it's made in people. And so for them, like, product belief is so easy because they've got such amazing stories. For me, I don't really have a product story. Like, I take the products, it hasn't really changed much for me, but I know what it's doing for me and I know the importance of it. And it's just the exact same reason I take these, it's the exact same reason why I eat salad, is the exact same reason as why I eat smoothies, because I know that I need these nutrients to show up as the best version of myself. Okay, cool. So your belief is strong, but you doubt others would be as well. So that's when it becomes, I'll go into that in a minute, because that is another one of my points further down, is the way to kind of share it. And you know, there's different people that will do this. I'll just go one more thing on the belief and then I'll kind of flip into that as well. But one more thing in the belief is obviously your belief in yourself and your ability to share it and your confidence in talking to people and things like that. And I mean, Kira is just coming out with so much goodness and so much knowledge on working on self-belief and limiting stories and things like that at the moment. So, you know, if there's anything going on there, jump on her trainings because they are incredible. But I guess the other thing with this product is what I've come to understand and learn while I'm doing this is there's two kind of people that will go after this. There's one, they just want a quick fix. You know, they're like, I'm going to take this pill and it's going to solve all my health problems. You know, and with regards to those people, you know, you might get lucky and they might have some amazing result from the product. They're like, yep, boom, I'm converted. But then you're going to get that other group of people, and other people that health makes sense to them. So they're willing to make an investment. They understand the importance of making an investment. And these are going to be your repeat customers, you know, because these are the people that's going to make, you know, it's going to make a lot of sense for. So there's kind of those two different types of people. So with regards to that and, you know, talking to people about you're not sure if they will want it, well, you're always going to have people that aren't going to believe in it and are going to think it's a crock. And I think you've just got to go with that. It's the same as the business. You know, there's always going to be people that it's not for. And I think that you've just got to just run with that and believe in that and just, you know, people follow certainty. So with your certainty, then people are going to kind of jump on board or not jump on board and things like that. But it's, yeah, I think you've just got to understand that some people it's just not going to be for, and just go with that. So the second point that I had, and this is one that I learned really recently and I love it, and this came from Sophie Hughes at the Ignite thing the other day. I was talking to her between one of the breaks, and she said, she might have actually said this on stage as well, I can't remember. But anyway, she said, tell your story to your tribe. So for me, with regards to the products, like I've got different parts of my story. One part of my story is that, you know, it just makes sense to me. Another part of my story is that, like, Hilt has had amazing results with regards to his pain from his back and, you know, and his energy levels and his recovery from his sport. And then the other side of my story is that with the chews, the kids have just started, like, they eat everything now, which is incredible since they started taking the chews. You know, so I've got all these different components to my story. But the story that I tell all the time and the story I lead with is the story that relates to my tribe. So the people, most of my friends on my Facebook, most of the people that, like, I coach with regards to health, most of them are mums. And most of them are struggling with energy. Most of them want better health. And most of the people that, like, I guess I'm targeting as such for my customers are people that are interested in health. And, you know, and they care about their health and they care about, they're happy to make an investment in their health. And so these are the kind of people I target. So the story that I tell is the story that, you know, that we need fruit and veg, that, you know, that's, you know, it just makes sense. We need it because that's how we function. We need to make these lifestyle changes. We need to eat better because that's how it functions. And then I tell kind of my story that, you know, that's the reason why I take these, because I have such a belief that the more that we nourish ourselves and fill ourselves up, then the better version we're going to show up as. So that's the one story that I tell. Sophie kind of used the example that with her tribe, I know that you guys all know the bombshells, you know, they're all beautiful, they're blonde, they've got beautiful skin, like, you know, that they show up. And so the story that she always tells is, you know, she said she sells a lot of omegas and berries because they're related to skin. And that's the angle that she comes from with the product. She's so often talking about skin with the product. And I noticed Shani Peach also, Shani Thompson, sorry, she's also quite often the same. She often talks about kind of the skin changes and stuff like that, because a lot of her tribe as well, like, you know, they are, it's more that kind of image thing and stuff like that. So you've got to talk to, like, choose the one story in your one tribe and then talk to that. Obviously that changes, and that kind of brings me on to my next point. is you've got to ask questions and you've really got to listen to the answers, because people don't buy fruit and veggies in a capsules. People don't buy a nutritional exercise program. They buy a solution to their problem. So, you know, you've got to ask really good questions and find out what is that problem. And then that is the story that you're going to share. So, for example, if I'm talking to a guy that's really struggling because he's working, or even a chick that's really struggling all the time because they're working out and they're in heaps of pain, then I'm probably going to tell them stories, you know. But if I'm talking to a mum and they've got really fussy kids and they're really struggling, then I'm probably going to tell them the story about my kids. You know, if I hear someone that's got skin issues or something like that, then I'm probably going to tell them like the likes of Kira, and I know that he eats me cleared up with the story, so I'm probably going to tell them more of their stories. But it's more, you've got to learn the problem before you can address it, like, because people, they buy solutions. They don't buy a product, they buy solutions. So you need to know what their problem is, and, you know, ask another question. Like, when you think you know it all, ask another one, and then ask another one, and just really understand what their problems are. And then you can kind of have permission to, you know, be like, do you know what? I don't know if this is going to work for you, but this is what it's done for me. Or I've got a friend that this is what it's done for. You know, but ask more questions, because they buy solutions to their problem. The next thing I want to talk about, sip of water. Sorry if I'm talking too fast, and please ask questions if you have any, or interrupt me or anything as I go. The other thing I want to talk about is Simon Sinek. People don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. Okay, and this goes for the business as well. You know, and people don't buy what you do, people buy what you believe. And this also goes back, like, you know, people buy a solution to their problems. They don't buy a product, they don't buy fruit and veggies in a capsule, they don't buy a program, they buy what you believe, they buy why you believe it, they buy a solution to their problem. So I'll just kind of give you an example of like sharing a story or telling someone about a product. I'll give you two different examples, and this, I hope I can do it well, will illustrate kind of what I mean by this point. So, for example, like if we start and say, oh my goodness, I have this amazing product. It's fruit and veggies in a capsule. You know, it's fruit and veggies, it's picked at peak ripeness, it's dehydrated, and so it's incredible because all the nutrients, they're all like maintained in this capsule, and, you know, and then it's encapsulated in a vegan capsule, and you can take it and it takes away all the fuss of like making smoothies and stuff, and think about all the nutrients that you're getting and how good that's for you. Like, how amazing is that? Would you like to take a closer look? Versus, you know, the other way is like, you know, I believe, for me, I am so passionate about health. I believe that our investment in our health is the biggest investment that we can ever make, because without our health, we have nothing. We can't show up as the mother that we want to be. We can't show up as the wife that we want to be. We can't show up for our friends, for our family, for anyone. With our health, we have absolutely nothing. So I truly, truly believe that health is one of the biggest investments that you can ever make, and the best investments that you can ever make. From what I learned and from what I believe in healthcare, I see like lifestyle changes that people make and what people decide to nourish their body with, and what people put into their bodies. I show how much of a difference that makes as to how you show up as a person. You know, I've recently tried these products. They're incredible. They give you like fruit and veggies in a capsule that, you know, that helps with this health, and it helps maintain this vitality, and it helps maintain this energy. Would you be interested to take a closer look? I don't know, that's the difference. So, you know, you're going on emotion and your belief versus what's in the product. So, I don't know, just kind of thinking about that as to like when you share your story and how you're sharing your story. So I guess that kind of taps into, again, going back to how important your story is and how nailing your values are, and your belief around the product, and your belief around health, and your belief about, you know, why you're doing this, and like, what do you want to help this person with, and what do you know, and what can you give, and what value you can give. So yeah, so I guess going on to the actual product now, I mean, for me, I feel like nailing those first steps is so much more important than product knowledge. You know, there are so many more experts than I am that talk about this product. You know, you can go and you can look at, you know, you can look up Dr. Mitra Ray and listen to her skills and talk about in her product knowledge. And, you know, you can go in and look up Dr. Tamara Hunter as well. Again, another doctor. She's got so much knowledge, and she talks so beautifully about all the products. So there's so many people that are so much more experienced than I am on product knowledge that you can go and check out as well. But I will just talk like a few things about like when people do ask me more, like what the kind of things I say. So obviously, like you've got your fruit, veggies, berries and capsules, you know, and obviously I mean the first one is you can talk about like what's in them, like, you know, it's vegetables, it's fruit, it's berries, like why, like who does that not make sense to, you know, the benefits of getting this produce into you is just like everyone knows the benefits of fruit and veggies. You know, you can talk about the minimum that we need, you know, our health standards, our government tells us that we need 5 and 2, you know, 5 servings of veggies, 2 serves of fruit. And you can ask people like, who's getting that, like on a consistent basis every single day, who's doing 5 and 2, because nearly every single person that I talk to, they don't even touch, well, not every single person that I talk to, but so many people that I talk to, they barely touch a vegetable until dinner time. And it's so hard, like, yeah, they'll snack on fruit and stuff during the day, or have fruit with breakfast and stuff, or maybe have like a little bit of veggies in a sandwich or something at lunch. But it's so hard to get 5 servings of vegetables in just at dinner time. So, you know, that's one question that you can kind of be talking to people around and asking people around. And what I just wanted to add to that is the 5 and 2 is like, and talk, like Dr. Libby's a really great resource if you want to learn more about this as well. But 5 and 2 is just minimum. Like that is just minimum to kind of go through life and be okay and stuff. That's not what we need to thrive. That's not what we need for our hormones to develop properly. That's not what we need if we'd had any kind of insult or we're recovering from something, especially things like pregnancy and breastfeeding and things like that, which is so many people of our people that we serve. Injury even, you know, recovering from inflammation, autoimmune diseases. You know, we need so many more plant nutrients, polyphenols, all this goodness that you can get from fruit and veggies. We need so many more if we're recovering for something or if we've got any kind of form of inflammation, and which we all do, because look at the blooming stuff around us these days. You know, as soon as we walk outside, we're breathing in smoke and fogs. Every time we touch food, you know, it's been tampered with in some way. So, you know, there's that kind of side of thing that you can always look at and ask people. You know, ask them, do you know where your food's coming from? Do you know what's actually happened to your food? You know, if you're buying your produce from the supermarket, it's been cold stored, it's been gassed. Who knows what's been on it, what pesticides and things like that have been on it. And, you know, it's still better to eat that than nothing, absolutely. But you need more of it because the soil quality is just not there. The nutrients aren't in the soil now because of the way that our soils have been farmed. You know, that's a whole other skill that I'm so passionate about and I can go into, but I won't here today. You know, and then the other thing I love to talk about is they work. You know, they're bioavailable. There's been a study that's been shown that it's blood, and, you know, they take the blood samples, you know, before, like, they go on a diet, I think for a couple of days beforehand. It's just pretty much, there's no fruit, no veggies, no nothing that you can get kind of these polyphenols from. They take a blood test before, they give them Juice Plus, and they take them at intervals afterwards. And it actually shows in the blood, like the polyphenols in the blood. And then it also shows like ones that aren't even in Juice Plus, like hours later, that the body's able to create because of the polyphenols from Juice Plus. So, you know, there's these studies that show that it actually works, that it's bioavailable, that it shows up in your blood. You know, and to me, it just makes sense as well. Like from everything, I'm so sorry, guys, I'm kind of blabbering on, it's 8 o'clock already. I'll hurry up. Can you explain what polyphenols are a bit simpler? They're basically just plant chemicals that we need for our cells to function properly. That, you know, we need these chemicals for basically everything, for our cells to talk to each other, for all those connections to happen, to help with our hormones, to help with everything, basically, to help our body function. The other thing I love as well is, like, it just completely makes sense. Like, if you go back to everything, like, nature gets it right every single time. Like, as soon as you look at us and how we've gone and tampered with anything or anything synthetic, nothing is as good as how nature gives it or how nature makes it. So doesn't it just make sense that if you can have the version that nature gives you versus something synthetic that's made in a pharmacy that's pulled out individual compounds versus the whole thing, like, I don't know, to me that just makes sense. There's studies that show it, you know, you can Google the studies in Juice Plus, but to me it's just common sense. You know, I think as well, you know, the safety of them that we all know and we all talk about all the time. There's no warning labels about breastfeeding and pregnancy. There's so many other kind of vitamins or supplements or anything that you take, like so many of them have warning labels on them. And, you know, if we can't take it when we need them the most, like what's the point? You know, and you've got to ask yourself as well, if you can't take them during that time, then, you know, are they safe to consume long term? Like, sorry, Leah, I just missed that one. You know, yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's people don't, yeah, they don't even think about it though, because it's been something that's just commonplace. Like, if it's commonplace to take a multivitamin or supplement, why not take something that's actually going to work? And so the other thing, and you know, as well, sure, the price point of Juice Plus might be a little bit higher, but isn't it worth like paying a little bit more money for something that actually works versus just paying for expensive weed? I don't know, it just makes sense to me. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of synthetic supplements anyway. I wasn't before Juice Plus, so it hasn't even been Juice Plus that's kind of changed that for me. I guess as well, how they're made, like, it's incredible. Like, if you think about most of our produce that we get on a shelf, even if we get it at a farmer's market, you know, most of the farmer's markets are pretty good. They are picked kind of the day before or a couple of days before, but still, unless you've got that produce, which Charlene does, and it's blooming amazing, growing in your backyard, it's so hard to get it at peak ripeness. You know, and that's when these are picked. They're picked at peak ripeness. They're taken and they are dried straight away or pulped up first, and they're dried at such low temperatures to maintain all the minerals and vitamins and all the goodness in them. And then they're encapsulated in a vegan capsule. Like, it's, you know, it's pretty much as good as you're going to get with that kind of stuff. And the other thing with this process as well that I just love is that it's tested so many times. You know, it's tested like 4 times during the processing. So there's no herbicides, no pesticides, you know, no mold, no yeast, no bacteria. All of these are like precursors to chronic disease. And if you think about like organic food, like something that's been certified organic, then, you know, that can still have spray drift if a neighbouring farm has spray and things like that. And, you know, organic produce isn't tested, like every single one isn't tested. The farms are checked and they're certified, and organic farmers do such an amazing job because they're so passionate about it, but it's still not tested to the standard that Juice Plus is tested for all those kind of things. And I guess the other thing as well, like going back to the whole synthetic things, I mean, just Google how many nutrients are in an apple, or in a, you know, broccoli, or in tomatoes, or in carrots. Like, yeah, does your vitamin pill really cover? So I guess that is I think that's all I wanted to, sorry, omegas, sorry guys, I'm taking too long. I get so passionate and excited about this. I'll just talk quickly about the omegas. Again, Google what omegas do. You know, they can improve your risk, they improve your heart health, they can improve, they help decrease inflammation, they can help, again, through the inflammation kind of side of things, they can help with your autoimmune diseases. There's been links to show that people with decreased omega-3s have potential to have like decreased poor mental health. There's also been shown links between Alzheimer's and decreased omega-3s as well. So it's just like they're so important for brain health. And again, going back to pregnancy and breastfeeding, like, omega-3s are so important for developing brains. Like, you know, it's going to help your kids with learning, with things like ADHD, with, you know, all these kind of things in the future down the track, if they've got really good brain health in the womb. And so your omegas are so important, but they're going to take all yours anyway. So if you don't have a good supply, they're still going to take them from you, but that's going to leave you deficient. And so that's why, especially when you're breastfeeding and pregnant, why omegas is so, so important. But also the reason it's so important that we take them is because our body doesn't actually make them ourselves. We have to consume stuff with omega-3s. And, you know, you can get them from chia, from flax, from oily fish and things like that. I'm not 100% sure about the bioavailability and things like that. And your body can uptake them, I know, but I'm not 100% sure how much you need and things like that from them. But with the omegas, the other reason I love these ones so much is because they're vegan. Again, I'm really passionate about sustainability in the environment. And so to me, if there's a way that you can take the fish out of it, it does just make sense to go straight to the source, which, you know, these do. They go straight to the algae that the fish eat. The other thing as well is, like, you know, with who knows what nuclear waste is in our ocean and things like that, who knows what other toxins are in our ocean as well, what our fish are consuming. So if we're consuming those fish oils, then, you know, you don't know what toxins, whereas these are really clean because it's all grown in an environment that's contaminant free. So, you know, I love that as well. I guess our chews, just quickly, same as our fruit, veg and berry capsules, but for kids, and they taste amazing. You know, and that's such a great way when you're having a mum day to be able to be like, right, at least my kids got, sorry, joking, I know you guys' time is so valuable. With the chews, like, I know, you know, it's one of those things that when you're having a mum day and you are struggling to get the best nutrition into your kids and they get slapped a Vegemite and cheese sandwich, then at least you know that they're getting their fruit and veggies in that form. And again, like any of these products, like fresh produce is always best, but, you know, when we're doing our best and that still isn't quite coming up to thing, it's such an easy way to get that extra nutrition into them. The family health studies have got amazing results. You know, it's showing decreased sick days, increased intake of fruit and veggies, increased water consumption. It's got so many amazing results as well. So that's such another great resource as well. I was eating tuna and fish. Oh yeah, it's crazy, hey, with that. Yeah, heavy metals. And Tony Robbins was the same. He was talking about how, you know, he normally had so much energy and things like that, and he was eating a really clean diet, and that was like fish and vegetables and things like that. And then they tested his heavy metals, and as well, they were through the roof, and they put it down again to his fish consumption. So yeah, we just don't know what's in it. And if you're taking fish oil as a supplement every single day, I mean, sometimes we just eat fish, you know, a couple times a week, which then, if it is contaminated, you're not getting as such a hit. But if you're taking fish oil every single day, you've just got to kind of ask yourself those questions. What was I talking about? Oh, so that's chews, and then also the shakes. I don't actually have any. We ran out the other day, which is so dumb because Hope's been nailing them with his recovery, so I'm waiting for mine to arrive. But shakes, again, like, I don't condone meal replacements at all. I know there's a lot of people that do. I know that some people get great results with meal replacements with the shakes. I don't condone it. I think that people should eat food, but the shakes are so good if you are going to make those poor decisions. Like, you know, they're so good to have in your handbag if you're going to grab that donut and coffee. If you don't have anything else, it's so good to fill that gap until you can have a decent feed. But they're also full of so many nutrients. So, I mean, I use mine to add them to my smoothie just because, you know, you can buy all these different superfoods and put them in. And I'll read that in a sec, Joe. You can buy all these different superfoods and put them individually into your smoothie. Or you can just have it all in one easy, convenient shake. Like, it just makes sense to me. And again, it's another way to get those extra nutrients into the kid. It's such a good after-school snack when they're coming home feral and really hungry. And it's just such an easy way to kind of get those extra nutrients in. So Joe said, I was so skeptical on meal replacements. First question Nick asked when I started, yeah, you would never go without food. Yeah, exactly. And you know, you're so welcome. See ya, Charlene. I'm almost done anyway. And so, yeah, so the shakes, you know, from that perspective, they really make sense because it is such an easy way to get that extra nutrition in and get that extra nutrition in on the go as well. And like I said, like Help uses them as like so awesome after workouts, because it's so like when you're working out like here's, you need to be able to replace you know, some of that nutrients that you lose through the workouts. So it's a really good easy source for that. And I think that is, can you explain how a prebiotic works? Oh, not very well. A prebiotic, it's basically your prebiotic is, do you know what? No, I'm probably not the best person to explain it. I could, but it would be a really long-winded roundabout way. Yeah, but they're good for you. Yeah, but yeah, and that's all I had tonight. So I hope that's brought you some value. Like I said, like with regards to the products, you can Google, you can look up Dr. Metra Ray, you can look up Tamara Hunter, and there's so much incredible knowledge on it. I truly believe it goes back to, you know, really understanding your story and being able to tell your story to your audience, really being so solid on your belief. And if you're not, go to work on it, go find testimonials, listen to the events, listen to people's stories. You'll be absolutely blown away. Again, like the other day, that Ignite thing, that chick that got up and she spoke about how low she was from a mental health perspective and how just filling herself up with decent foods and nutrients and having those extra nutrients actually allowed her to function properly. And that just blew me away. So, you know, just building your belief, however you know how, you know, tell your story to match your tribe. Again, people don't buy fruits and berries in a capsule, they buy a solution to their problem. And also finally, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They don't buy what you do, they buy what you believe. So be so solid in your belief and be passionate about it and be able to share and explain that. So I hope that is valuable. If you've got any more questions, no more questions, that's kind of covered stuff. I hope that's been helpful. Yeah.